It's only so I can find it. Dig through my pocket.
Joe, what do you think has led to Paulson and Adebo's season that he's having, and kind of maybe the breakout that he's having?
Yeah, Paulson's a very smart player. We have some very, I guess, different conversations about things. But he thinks a lot about the game, about the techniques we play, the coverages we play. And I think for him, he's a bigger corner that plays physical, so he can match up with today's receivers in the NFL. And I feel he's done a great job. If you just look at some of his targets over the course of the season, it's just a pleasure to coach him. But yeah, I think he's playing well.
How do you kind of see that intellect, like with those different conversations, kind of match with that physicality?
No, he watches tape and he thinks through things. So he always has some questions in terms of, why we're doing certain things or why we're making certain adjustments. But it's something that makes you work, makes you think, go back and look at things and give them the right answers, because you want to make sure you're putting those guys in position to make plays. But like I said, he's been a pleasure to coach. Yeah. And I've coached a lot of different guys, but he's been a pleasure to coach.
Do you find yourself having to go back or think about it more, or do you have the answers on the spot? What's kind of
No, a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. But like I said, very smart player, really thinks about the game. Plays it, as we say, above the net.
What's some of that life stuff you guys talk about? Because he won't tell us nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes he won't tell me anything either. No, he's a guy. He keeps to himself. He's quiet, sits in the room. But like I said, if he has a question about something, he will speak up.
I imagine that play he made was featured prominently in teaching tape this week.
Oh, the hustle play?
Chasing
Oh, there's no doubt. You know what I mean? He came from the backside, ran the whole way across the field, got the runner down around the 1 yard line, and we stopped him and held him to a field goal. So that's what you need, So we definitely talked about that for sure.
Ike got him. Meanwhile, any thought that he's going to turn back into a pumpkin with more playing time? Is he playing as well as he ever has that you've coached him for?
Yeah, he was a rookie when I was back in Denver. But I told you guys a story, and that game was against the same receiver they had to cover in the Senior Bowl. But Ike's is very confident, and he's a guy. He does exactly what you coach him to do. He's aggressive. Like I said, he believes in his abilities, and he made a lot of plays.
Joe, what have you seen from Devito on film, and just why he's been so effective the last 3 weeks?
I think he's running their offense well. I think when you look at it, you look back at some earlier games, they're probably kind of tailoring what they do to him a little bit. But he makes good decisions. He gets rid of the ball on time. And then, if everything's covered up, he's making plays with his legs. He's dangerous as a scrambler. See him make several people miss. But I think he's really operating their offense really well right now.
How has him being so effective in the passing game kind of aiding to Saquon Barkley kind of having this resurgence in the last few games?
Yeah, well, I think offensively you try to establish the run game because you want to make defenses put more guys in the box to stop the run. And when you have a back with that much talent, that's what you're going to do. So it opens things up in the passing game. And they have a nice package in terms of what they do with their play selection, and you can see game to game it's a little specific. It's specific to the teams that they're playing, and he's doing a good job right now.
How does Darren Waller kind of change what they want to do to keep goes this week?
Well, we're going to see. It's something obviously we're keeping track of, but he's one of the better tight ends in the league for sure. He presents matchup concerns in terms of who you're going to put on him, what coverages you're going to play. So, we've kind of prepared for him. So we'll see what happens.
DA has said that, when asked about the tight ends, what Florida, you guys were maybe so focused on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then same thing with Minnesota. I'm wondering, for a team like New York, where maybe that, big threat isn't there for the receivers, does that make it easier to hone in on a guy like Waller, big respect for him?
No, I think when it comes to game planning and there are certain guys you want to stop, anything you do to strengthen your defense, you're going to, I'm not saying weaken it, but you're going to create more one-on-one matchups with other guys. And that's just part of it. So, the guys know that. If we have a certain game plan, we're saying we're trying to take away this guy where he's not going to beat us, other guys, you got to stand up. But we also have the ability to do other things as well. We just got to make that adjustment during the game.
So in terms of the amount of like passes your secondary just gets a hand on, deflects, intercepts, whatever, is that kind of baked into the aggressiveness y'all look for in the players themselves?
I mean, for me, that's always kind of been my mentality as a coach. I mean, we want to be on the body. When the quarterback hits the top of his drop, he has to make a decision whether or not he can make that throw. So, I like being aggressive, when the defense calls for it, and just make it as difficult as possible. And the guys, I mean, they thrive on it. I mean, they like it. They like to challenge receivers. And again, we made a lot of plays, on the football so far this season.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, sir.
That's it. All right.